What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, plot swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I got YouTube up. I got people in the room, but for some reason it's saying it's set to private video, so I can't see comments. Let me try to just run that up again. Hold on one second, YouTube land. There we go. Now I feel good. We got comments back. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I'm confused. Must have been a crazy weekend. Hope you guys had a good weekend. I know we got Alex Downs. Good morning. We got Amy starting the week bright and early. Good morning to Andy Richardson. Good morning to Bill, Brandon, Brian. Cindy's in the house. Good morning, Greg Gilbert. We got Gurleen. Hope you had a great weekend. JT, Kaylin, Liza's in the house. Good morning. We got Lauren, Richard, Jet, Rick, GJ, Rock, Ron, Wally. Varus, this is early for you, I feel like. Man, you popping in early today. Love it. We got Rado in YouTube land. Jeff. We got Anna. Good morning to Franca. Ooh, we got the squadron in the house. All right, let's see what we can do in the markets. It's gonna be that was an interesting Friday to say the least. A little suspect, not gonna lie. Let's see if we have let's see if I can make this share screen. Share. Got the buttons all over the place. Typical Monday. All right. We should be up and running. You guys should be able to see the trading view screen. Yeah, pretty wild day. This candle, that's a pretty powerful candle. If we go into even the 15-minute chart, we had an actual crazy bullish run, which I was like, I don't know. I think with the numbers that came out on Friday from unemployment, that could cancel a lot of the ADP fear that we had in the market. And I think we could have an extremely bullish day. And we did, but then we didn't. It just gave it all right back. Closed essentially at the open of the market. Today we have a little gap down. I think today we have to continue selling a little bit. We do have today's VPOC underneath Fridays. We got Fridays onto Thursdays. We are trending down a little bit. And right where we bounced, so this is where I have my 438.91. You guys are probably sick and tired of that number, but that's just where I have my line at. So we broke down, we retested into it, we broke again, we retested. So that's got to be the spot I'm watching for. Can we get enough momentum to get up there? Maybe, but at this point, that was a lot of selling. I'd have to. I don't think we make it back up to 442 today. I'd be absolutely shocked if we sell that hard that quickly and then we automatically come back. What I would have to do is draw some kind of fibs on this move at least. Man, I don't know if that's a real wick. I'm not sure if that's a real wick, so I got to go to here. If we could get to like the 440.53, we know that's a very good, strong area. So if we do think we go bullish, and we're showing any signs of bullishness in this market, I think people will start to get a little cautious after that amount of selling, probably somewhere around the 440.53. I think in a bullish direction, we close 440.53 to 439.91, somewhere in that zone. I think is probably where the close would come if we are bullish. Otherwise, we have to watch this very, very carefully because like I said, we are trending down. We did already kind of retest what should have been some type of support. It no longer is. It's more of a resistance. So for us to make a bullish case today, I think at that point we have to get above this 438.91, get some candles to close. Probably, where's that pen thing? Probably we'd have to get to something like this, come back down, retest, and then make our move up higher. But like I said, I think this is the zone we probably close in. I can't imagine that the bulls are that bullish after that amount of selling and pressure coming into the market. And I think that would be a kind of a normal move back down. And could be a little bit of a chop zone considering that Wednesday we're going to have some big news. So we have CPI Wednesday, 8:30 in the morning. There's a little bit of confusion thrown into the market about what the Fed will do, how many more rate hikes they will get. I think we have at least one priced in. I could think maybe we got too probably priced in, but not completely. And then anything past that, if it looks ugly, China came out with some news over the weekend about their inflation, and they're looking to struggle probably a little bit longer. So, how does that relate to the US economy? We're going to find out. We're going to find out where we sit on everything. Otherwise, yeah, until we pass that 438.91 on the SPY, I have to remain probably with the continuation of that weird sell-off that we had towards the very end of the day. And again, it was Friday going to the weekend. Maybe people didn't want to hold, but I think we're kind of looking forward to CPI, see what happens from that point. We've got a pretty clear double top. This closed the gap from was that Wednesday into Thursday. So we did close a little bit of a gap and probably continue down. Targets to the downside, at least the first original ones would be 437.37. We're kind of close to that. We have about $1 to drop from that point. And then if we get a little bit lower, 436.35, 435.58, we do have another supporting moving average coming in. So we'll see. But I think I want to lean a little bit more to the bearish side, or at least cautious at open, just see which way the market gives us and then kind of roll it from there. So that's what I'm thinking for the market. It's still a little bit in chop zone. I think Monday, Tuesday probably will be, until we find out a little bit more information just in the overall market from CPI Wednesday morning. So we'll see what happens with that. We've got the Qs. If we combine those two candles, I mean, we really have indecision candle. We got a wick on both sides, a little bit to the bearish side, but we would have unless we get some kind of a gap up tomorrow or Wednesday over that, that's going to put us in a little chop zone. And again, I think to the downside might make some sense, 364.48. So we have some things on the table as far as support below us. And then probably the last one that will have to get retested at some point is 359.46. Whether that holds or not is going to be the big test. But up until that, we probably remain with some Chopzilla. We got Snow from Lauren. By the way, if you guys have tickers, more than welcome to throw those into the chat. We got 2 so far, and we'll take a look around the market as well. Snowflake, nice little gap down. Decent little gap, actually, breaking through what could have been a decent support. We're kind of right at it, but yeah, we have all the VPOCs higher than us at this point. Probably next immediate target would be 164.19, and then if we could roll past that, 163.20. So Snow might be a decent short. It is a little bit of a continuation or a retest gap from Friday. So obviously we did sell off, and if we stumble upon a couple stocks that are gapping down today, we might have that same look. The one thing I would look at for a longer term picture on Snow is you do have a pretty decent head and shoulders. This would be your neckline. So somewhere in here is going to be your neckline. If we come up, we do fill that retest. If you're thinking about puts, that would be the spot to do it. If we could get there, we'll see. But let's watch this one at open, see what it wants to do. I'd much rather try to catch it somewhere in up here than here at open. But if we could get a couple good green candles, something like that we could take a break and keep it on the list, that would be interesting. I would be worried more about my targets than probably my entries on it. But let's move that one up high on the list because it is interesting. And quite the little head and shoulders that one's got on this. All right. You also want to look at Microsoft. Daniel in YouTube land, good morning. I kind of like Snow a little bit better, I think, because we are in a little bit more of a chop zone. I'm trying to rate the two, which one I like better. I think I like Snow a little bit better. Snow spread's probably going to be a little wider though, so that would be a negative to the Snow side. But Microsoft, again, similar look. We do have the retest gap. This one is, if this one in the next 20 minutes starts dipping a little bit more, I think this one could get a higher rating than Snow. But right now we are at a little bit of support into a little bit of a chop with a retest, although we are breaking down a pivot. So there could be a little confusion on this one. This one might be a candidate if it could get that little high wave at open. So we'll throw this on the list. Targets on this one. First target probably going to be 330, 334. I think that's a weak target. That was already retested. I think that if we do break down, I think a more realistic target would be about 332.13 today. So that would give me a little more room, about $2 incentive. I like it. Ron says interesting short float companies. We got HELE beat earnings this morning. Big bull retest gap. Let's take a look at that one. HELE. Helen of Troy. Finviz. HELE. Short float 24%, so that's solid. We've had a huge run up into this thing, but that is quite the gap. That is quite the gap. That is also quite the run into this one. I would let it. I wouldn't touch this one yet. It's got all the elements that you'd like to see in a good short squeeze, except for this. Except for that part right there, where there's definitely some people profitable on this run up. And if you were going to take it, I think you have to let this thing sell first. And if it runs without you, it runs without you. But I would see if we get any type of pullback, and then maybe that's time to load it up. See if you can buy the dips on it. The short float's phenomenal. It definitely has some room, I think, to the higher side of things. The all-time high was back to, I don't know if that's all-time, but 263 back in 2021. Did form some kind of little base double bottom recently. It took a while to do it, so it's a little longer term base on it. Yeah, I'm terrified of that run up before it. Otherwise, decent short float. Let me add this one to the list. Get this up there, see what it does. 126 to $10 gap too. All right, so we got that on the list. WDFC, big bull candle on Friday, and people are trapped from prior day. WD40, yeah, I don't know. This is a weird company to have a run. This is a very strange company to have a run, but I did see this one pushing on Friday. So you do have that big bullish engulfing candle. Where is it? Looks like the market is pretty much flat on this one. At close, we did close into a little bit of resistance. I think the HELE would be a little more interesting to watch. Longer term, though, for a swing. So if you do want to try to swing this thing, I mean, there was a lot of selling into this thing. We did form some kind of base, higher lows. We got some moving averages to hold us up. It was definitely a good day, strong volume. I'd still want to see some kind of like pullback, buy a dip, maybe give myself some better risk reward, probably throw a stop somewhere at 182.59. Maybe get it to, like, if I'm going aggressive, probably 184.44, but I would look at a swing trade on this one. For right now, I don't know what the normal volume is on this one or how it trades. I've never traded before, but yeah, Friday I did see this one popping, and I was like, oh, that's a weird one to have a squeeze on, or any type of real news or anything to come out on. How much news could WD40 get? EHang Holdings, 21% short float, big bear volume on 2 days. Yeah, but it's gapping down. So the bears are actually feeling pretty good about that one today. So that would probably be not one that you could really take advantage of a short float on. Sava, huge bear volume on Wednesday. Trapped bears, not yet. No, not yet. So this is the big bear volume. If we were going to trap them, we'd have to be gapping up to 26.65, 26.50, something like that. So if this is where all the bear volume came in and massive sell-off, we're still at the very bottom of that range. So there's still a lot more people profitable to the bear side than there would be to the bull side. So that could be a struggle bus for a minute. So I wouldn't trade that one. I think the best, and we have trip. I missed one. TRIP. Nice little hammer. Good run up on Friday. We do have a moving average coming in. It's got 11% short float, triple bottom. Triple bottom. Probably looking at maybe this. I wouldn't say probably triple bottom, but you do have some type of what was resistance around 1614. You did have a little bit of a bear trap going under it. That definitely trapped people from Thursday. That trap's already in, and you are running into a little resistance. So again, probably look for the pullback. It's going to get, I think, a little wonky here, unless for some reason this thing starts moving in the next 14 minutes. And we're looking at 1692. If we can get above probably even like 1690 at open, yeah, I think that would look decent. But right now you are still just in a consolidation mode, just channel sideways. So good one to watch. 11% short float is definitely not bad. It's definitely good. It's a good short float, but I would like to see a little bit more people trapped on this one than not. Yeah, HELE has a 24% short float. So that one to me, I think it looks really nice for a good trap, and we could see continuation. The only thing with HELE that gives me a little bit of pause is the fact that we had like 6-7 days in a row. David Cooks, what's going on? So yeah, if we didn't have that, I mean, it would look phenomenal. It still does look pretty interesting. So HELE will add to the list. The other ones, I just don't know if there's enough in it yet. So we have to watch. Trip would be one to watch if we could get some kind of continuation breakout, though. All right, let's see what else we got. That's it. There's no more. No, that's it. All right, you guys have been great. We'll catch you guys all tomorrow. just a bunch of short floats and 2 stocks. Okay, that should narrow the list down, though. All right. Let me see. Let's get this lines off of here. Tesla just hanging out, little bit of a gap up, not quite. Look for a Tesla rejection of probably 277.31. Closer you get to that, I think that would be your spot if you want to short this thing. I can't even on here I can't even repeat Elon's tweets from the weekend, but man, that guy's a troll. That's I'm not bad. TSEM, pretty funny. His comments to Mark Zuckerberg. And then you're like, oh, that's also the richest guy in the world. Okay. All right, we got Tower Semiconductor. This one looks like probably some kind of continuation. We had any type of support of this thing. We even have a lot of the liquidity above us. That's going to create some resistance. This one probably has 34, 31 in the future for it, at least. If not, maybe come down a little bit lower to about 33.83. This is a retest gap after some selling, a decent amount of it. I think this one most likely will fade higher at open. If you do want to short this thing, probably 35.61. It does look a little overextended for right now in the short direction, but it probably has at least another $2 to move in it. AMD, Kaylin, what's up, Kaylin? All right, we got AMD. Small, tiny little gap up, so it's about 9 pennies. It is in a weird little chop zone for sure. Yeah, I don't know if I could play this one out of the gate. It is a tiny gap up that we already just lost 7 cents. If you're going to look to go long on this one, I think this one will have to come back at least to retest 112.46. So somewhere down in that zone, to the higher side, you will run into a little resistance. First resistance probably about 113.96. And if we could break out of that, you're looking at a bigger resistance at 114.60. with all the moving averages above you. So right here, we're kind of in the middle of everything. So I think we get some chop, which could lead to a decent trade. If we get some sideways consolidation, we get pennant patterns, something like that, where we get better risk reward on our trade. Out of the gate, though, I mean, it's a coin toss, I think. Very big coin toss. We've even come up, this retested that support, so that looks good. Longer term, I still like AMD. But for a day trade purpose, I'd have to wait, watch it, see if I could get a good setup on it, because right now it does look a little, so maybe like some intraday volume or something like that. Win is in the house. What's up, Win? Let me see. We got Apple AAPL. David wants to look at Delta. Be careful on Delta. We do have earnings on Delta on Thursday. But we'll take a look at that chart as well. We got Apple, so a little gap down, little area of support that was already retested. That's going to be a little bit of a weaker support that we're at now. We even retested that second little VPOC 189.13. We got close to it. We didn't actually touch it. I think that's a little bit weaker. So to the downside, you are looking at probably about 188.09. So technically, this is a retest gap. I'm going to put Apple a little bit higher on the list. It's a retest gap, but again, this candle at open might cause a little bit more fear reaction. If we could break those two levels, which it's not going to be the easiest thing, but they were already retested. I think target could be 188.09. So we're going to need a relatively tight setup to make this work. Or the market just absolutely opening the floodgates and selling off, which I don't know if we're going to get that, but we are opening below the 10. I think bearish would be the direction. So what I would like to see is we come back for some kind of a retest that this candle does play, not this one. But we'll have to see if this one gives us any kind of interesting symbol or sign off the gate or out of the gate. Let's take a look at DAL. There's not that many like crazy gaps today. It's kind of a quieter open. And then I saw futures last night. They were running positive. We sold all that off. So right now we're still selling any rips that we're kind of putting into the market, which is interesting. DAL is interesting. So I do like the buy opportunities leading into earnings Thursday. I think any type of dip we get on DAL, which they're either going to have absolutely phenomenal earnings and crush it, or they've talked themselves into a corner because they've already kind of put out like the environment, the conditions, everything is working in their favor right now. And everybody is expecting good earnings. We've had a good run up into it, so they have to really just crush it out of the park, I think, for them to rally. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But with everybody expecting good earnings, I think we have a good opportunity for continued run up on Delta. So if this thing dips, for right now, first spot to consider would be 48.02. But if you can catch it off of probably about 47.88, I think continuously buying any dips. I want to go short from now till Thursday. I would just only probably go long on this thing just to capture some of those, probably the run up into earnings. But that being said, yeah, nice little gap. It is a retest, so this one should pull back. You are in inside day, so I think that this 47.86, somewhere in that zone, is a good viable spot. You could probably even throw a stop 47.44, something like that. So decent little trade, and then see if we could kind of continue. If this thing starts breaking $49, probably goes absolutely nuts, but we'll see from there. Let's put Delta up a little bit higher. All right, we know some of the Chinese names were moving on Friday. Decent day on BABA. Ran into a little bit of resistance, didn't quite get there. We do have some moving averages above us, so I still think buying some of the dip, although you did have some kind of tough, difficult China news come out over the weekend, so we'll have to see how this one wants to play out. Probably you're looking for about a 50% retrace, so if you are interested in BABA, I would start looking maybe about $88.75. Pull back and then see if that one wants to run, which might not run today, but pull back today, run tomorrow, possibly. Rivian's had a nothing short but phenomenal move in the last. I mean, we're up almost 100% on Rivian. So this short float is working out pretty decent. I have seen, I don't know, unless it's the same exact Rivian, but I saw them on 2 different states. But maybe they travel as much as I do. But I did see 2 Rivians on the road, so I don't know. Maybe that's a signal for me to get in. Not sure. One of the Rivians, actually, we had a team meeting. It was like, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night, and I was driving to New York. And I was like, I just saw like the weird Rivian lights behind me. I was like, is that a Rivian behind me? As I was getting off like one turnpike to get onto the next, and I was like so focused on these lights, I just completely missed the exit. So thanks a lot, Rivian. I should probably short you for that one, but I guess it was kind of my fault. It was Bigfoot. No, Bigfoot don't carry flashlights with them, so I don't think it was Bigfoot. I'm not quite sure, but I can't confirm or deny it. So, yeah. So Rivian is into a little bit of probably, I would assume, some resistance, but again, I think definitely overextended. I wouldn't short this thing yet. Going long here, probably if we could see a decent setup at maybe $24.99, but I did notice that was jumping again. Bigfoot was the driver. Let's just say right now, for fact, I do not like Bigfoot. It's kind of scary. And now he knows how to drive. He's developing his intelligence. He's evolving. All right, so we got like 2 minutes left. Is there any other stocks that you guys want to take a look at? So far, it's been a relatively quiet day. Nothing crazy that stands out. Let me get that HELE on my other screen just so I have that. I'll put it right here, HELE. I mean, at least in terms of like interesting, that would be probably one of the most interesting stocks today. Let's run down the list. Pins. Whether I take a trade on HELE or not, I don't know. But it is a fun one to watch today, I think. XPEV looks kind of bearish. You are at one little area of support. XPEV down to 1340 could make sense. LVS, it's giving you decent opportunities. Probably want to see this thing lower for long term. Does look like some interesting head and shoulders on a longer term picture as well. I'm seeing that a lot on a lot of different individual stocks. This is a little bit of a gap up. Should be a retest. I think that one could fade down a little bit. Let's take MU. MU with our 3 attempted setups to finally get filled on 1. But it did work out for a nice 1.2. Actually, I think it was a little higher than that. 1.3, something like that. 1.39, whatever it was. MU, a little bit of a gap up inside, still gonna have a little bit of resistance. We're probably right around the, are we? No, we caught it at like $60.99 for that run up. Yep, and then everything just kind of faded, sold off. We were below it, so look for probably about that 60.95 as a short zone, or at least see how that wants to interact from there. How's that the morning bell? That's the morning bell already? Guys are kidding me. All right, YouTube land, unfortunately, this is where I got to stop the video. Make sure you check out Real Life Trading. We do got All Access Pass. We do trade from 9 a.m., or at least we're live from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. at night. Make sure you guys check that out. You do not have to, I mean, right now you have to leave if you don't have All Access Pass, but that you don't have to make that the case. So make sure you head on over, hit the like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share with friends, with family, whatever people on YouTube tell you to do. Just do all that. And I'll catch all you guys tomorrow. Take it easy, guys.